Welcome to Synthetic Oil Protection. I'm your host, Eben. We're back with Dan the Man's 2015 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, and this happens to be the 8-speed automatic. We just got done doing the ATF fluid, but we're back with the Dominator coolant boost, and Dan's going to tell you what a surfactant is. This is a tri-tiered surfactant, which is proprietary. So Dan, give it to him.
Well, a surfactant makes everything wetter. For instance, if you spray water on a car and it beads up and rolls off, it doesn't penetrate very well. But when you put a surfactant in it, it spreads out nice and even. Similar when you wash a car. If you put soap in the water, it acts like a surfactant. It spreads all the way out. It doesn't bead up. And that's what we're trying to do. Hit the surface as much as we can to get the fluid on there to maintain the temperature at the lowest we can have it at.
And what that's going to do, it's going to pull more heat out of the cylinders. You're going to have a nice tight cylinder around a piston. Well, what do you got with that? When it's good and tight, it's more compression. And this right here is our low toxicity biodegradable coolant. Right here, good for up to 1 million miles on 18-wheelers. And it meets and exceeds all the 18-wheeler specifications. But the best part is this one's compatible with all other coolant makes, models, and colors. So even if you mix it a little bit, it's not going to clot up. It's not going to have any trouble. As a matter of fact, we got it in the putty cat behind us right there. That stuff's in there. So we're going to get to it. We're going to start out by draining her down. All right, now it's time to throw our pan. We got this at, I think we got it at Wama.
Hey, Robert.
Only about 6 inches high. So we shove her underneath here.
Well,
and we got her jacked up just a little bit. We're good. And now we got our petcock right there. Our little teeny weeny petcock. Give you a little light there. This little sucker. And all you do, just turn it by hand. So we're just going to turn it by hand right here. Right there. And just turn it until it comes out. And we'll let her drop her nuts. Here we go. Here we go. Let's go all the way. There she blows. Come on. Right. Right. Ooh, that's hot. Wow, that's hot. Damn. That is hot. Shit. Wow. That's as hot as a son of a gun.
Okay, what time is it now, Robin? Oh, I got my
right
water
there.
on. It's 2:30.
So now we'll jack her up for the rear and we'll let her drain down.
One of my car's service right
Perfect.
Now, so I'm at the...
We're back after 10 minutes. So this is where we're at. Still leaking out just a little bit, not much. And I'll show you what we're looking like down here. Oh, right there. So this holds about 29 quarts, this whole bin. So that's about, what, 1/5 or so. So it's a good amount. Show you what we got. Looks pretty good too. Looks really good. All right, so the total fill in this is 11.8 quarts is what the whole system is. This is probably about 7 to 9. That's about all you'll get out. You're going to leave some in the block. So now we're going to jack her up from the rear, tilt her forward, get a little more out, and dump some distilled water through. Now at the front a little easier. We got her jacked up about 2 feet in the back, and she's barely dripping. So I'll show you what she looks like. So I just jacked her up on the aluminum cradle. It's solid aluminum there, very strong. We're going to open up our coolant bottle, and we're going to cleanse that out good. Oh, sounds like more's coming out when I open that.
Probably would.
Yeah, a little more's coming out. So definitely open that in the beginning. It'll help it come out quicker. Right there.
Yeah, you're letting more air in.
Yep. All right, now we're going to cleanse the system with our distilled water. Always use distilled water. That keeps from mineral deposits getting in your system, and it keeps it from corrosion and getting white calcium. So now we're going to go ahead and dump in a little distilled water.
I'm having my car serviced. 2:45 now.
So we're going to put a half a gallon through.
Anyway, I got to get a hold of her and then I'll confirm it, okay?
And it'll start getting some momentum. It'll start coming out pretty good here. And you want to make sure it runs clear. That's what I always do. So you can see a lot of old stuff coming out still. So that means there's a lot of coolant in there. So we're gonna go ahead and fill her all the way up with distilled water. So if you don't know, Dan is an ex-racer on the channel from California. He's been doing this for about 59 years. Active, I think, racing, Dan, 60 years. So Dan, give us this head gasket secret.
Well, what you do is you make sure the coolant system's full, take off the radiator cap, and see if you see any bubbles. If you see any bubbles, there's an indication you got a head gasket problem.
Yikes.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Thanks for giving it to him.
And the other thing is if you see excess water coming out the pipe and exhaust, and your water level's going down, it's going somewhere.
Yikes. All right, so after seeing how clear this was, Dan and I said, you know what? It's going to be fine, so we're just going to fill it. Now, if you're into racing and stuff, I definitely recommend you go ahead and do the second drain and fill. So we didn't go drive around the block with distilled water only and then drain it, come back and do it again and turn the heater on. That's what you want to do if you really want to get it all out of there. But Dan's happy with that. It just looks so good. It's only got 40,000 miles. So he said, since it looks that good, we're just going to fill it with the AMSOIL. So, well, let's get her full. Right, now we're going to put in the Dominator coolant boost first, but make sure you put in the little teeny petcock. You don't want it to go down the drain. So we just got to stick that in here. Same way it came out, it goes in. Easy as pie, right there. This one we don't even have to feel for it, it's that easy. And now it's time for the Dominator coolant boost. This is a tri-tiered surfactant technology. Takes you from cold temperatures up to about 100 degrees. The second tier takes you from about 100 to 160. And then the third tier is for racing. So that's for over 200 degrees. So this will actually help your car cool up, well, warm up, should I say, up to 54% faster in straight distilled water. And there's actually a whole thing on that down in the description section. You can check that out. So now we're going to go ahead and add the appropriate amount. We're doing 2 ounces for every gallon of coolant concentrate, 1 ounce for every gallon, or should I say quart, of distilled water. So I did the numbers. We need 16 ounces. So we're going to put this whole bottle in. So here we go. Put the whole entire bottle in. Now we're going to run a little bit more distilled water for a better specific heat capacity. The specific heat of water is 1. The specific heat of coolant concentrates about 0.6. So the more water you have, and the closer you get that water to the aluminum to pull that heat out of the radiator, pull it out of the cylinders through the aluminum in the block, just the more power you're going to make. So here we go. We'll stick this in first. We got our petcock in. Like I said, make sure you put the petcock in. You don't want to dump this down the drain. So boom. We got our 1 bottle in. And now we're going to do our whole bottle of low toxicity biodegradable coolant. Good for up to 1 million miles, 8 years on 18-wheelers. So this meets and exceeds all the heaviest duty specifications for all your 18-wheelers, which they run regularly at 210, 220 degrees. Very, very abusive conditions. And for about every 18 degrees hotter a motor runs, it oxidizes at twice the rate. So the thickening and the wear on motor oil coolant differential fluid is exponential. So it's a huge difference when you have the right products in your car. So we're going to put this whole gallon in. And the best part about this, and Dan and I was talking about this a second ago, this one has no smell to it. So it doesn't really give you a headache at all when you smell it. But like Dan said, you're not going to be able to tell quite as easy if it starts leaking. That's the only downside, but you can still see it. So it's got this beautiful golden color. And this is a organic acid hybrid technology. So it's like a mix between both of them. And you can add this to all different other coolants, makes, models, and colors. It won't separate. It won't get hard. It won't it won't do anything bad. So, but preferably you'd want to get the most of the old stuff out like we did. We got about, I would say, 80% of the old stuff out, 85%. So it's not like we're mixing it 50-50 with old coolant. So now it's just gargling in, which is normal. Oh, got a little bit of a spitter. Got to take our time with it. You want to always take your time. You don't want to force feed. You can get some spitting. Now we're on to our distilled water. And now you just pour this in until it overflows. And then we're going to squeeze some of our hoses. Oh, there she's, no, she's taking it pretty good. She's burping a little bit. A little bit of a goggler. Let you see what that looks like up close. So you can tell.
Distilled water is rainwater?
Is it really?
Yeah.
You guys learned something new from Danny. 80 some years he's been on this planet. Get out there and fetch yourself some rainwater. So here she is goggling.
That's what you want to use in your iron too.
She's a sloiper and a goggler. Right, now Dan's gonna motor her up and it's gonna suck it down. Let's do it, Dan.
You got the, oh.
It's right there. Turn the heater on, Dan. So we're gonna turn that heater on and circulate the heater core. We'll see if it sucks it down a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. We'll add a little bit. We'll see what we got here. So you can tell we're good and we're overflowing out of the overflow here. See it right there? We're letting her get nice and hot, and Dan said most likely once that thermostat opens at 194, we should get it to run a little lower, so we'll add some more. Right, we had her idling for about 8 minutes. She's nice and hot. I'll show you where she's at. Solid. So she ended up taking about 7.48 quarts. So it's a 11.8 quart system. So call it 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. About 4 quarts stayed in. So with the block and the hoses, you're not going to get it all. So that's why I always recommend doing 1 or 2 drain and fills with distilled water only and go drive it. But Dan wanted to do it this way, so we're okay. He's not doing any psychotic racing or anything. So now let's go put in some Dominator Octane booster. All right, it's time for our Dominator Octane booster. What this does, treats up to 15 gallons, up to 4 points in octane. So this is what you'd want to use. Say you had an old car like the Kitty Cat or a race car like Dan's. The great benefit, instead of going and getting 100 octane gas, filling half the tank, filling half with 91, and ending up right around 95 to 96, what this does, you get basically the same result, but for half the price. So I think 100 octane out here is about $7.60 a gallon. So if you do that split on a 20 gallon tank, Putty Cat is 20.9 quarts. So it's almost the same damn thing, basically half the price. So all you do, you just push down, little safety seal, whoop, pop her in, and we'll shove her in. How do we open this sucker, Dan? Just push it?
Yeah.
All right. I don't even know how to do these new ones. Got the double gas cap. We'll stick it in. Hopefully it'll take it. It's taking it. We're good. And now for a bottle of our upper cylinder lubricant. And this one is one of my all-time favorites. Puts a super thin film around the rings, helps with compression, better fuel mileage, more performance, better power, keeps from ethanol separation. That can really corrode your system with around the rubbers, all kinds of stuff with the clunk. It can mess it up. So this is a great maintainer. This treats up to 25 gallons of gasoline. You put it right in the gas tank, same exact thing. So here we go. Go ahead and pop her off here. And shaboo-boo, here we go. And it's got the gasless gas cap compatible tip. Before you can say boom, it's done. That quick. Already done. That tip just slips in like butter and it yanks out like butter. So I always recommend putting in one of these every full tank. If you're doing any racing in the high heat, especially up here in Vegas, we're at 2,000 feet above sea level. So you want to watch your timing and pre-ignition. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pull our battery cable and we're going to let the computer reset. We're going to unplug the battery, but Dan doesn't want to reset the presets, but I recommend if you did the coolant change, adding fuel additives and stuff, it's always good to reset your battery. You can actually just unplug it, let it sit for a minute. The computer will actually re-gauge the fuel better. I was told that by someone. And I've done it now on a couple vehicles like Hondas, a couple different Lexuses, Mercedes, and it seemed to make a difference. So definitely something you can consider. We're out in the battlefields, got the AC turned off, we're just letting her hum. And now if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, tap the notification bell. We've done a ton of videos on Dan here's little angel. Check him out up in the corner. So this is Dan's office away from home. He loves this thing. And he's also got an SL 550. Wow. That was some nice smooth shifts there. Wow. And I was saying earlier, we actually just did the transmission fluid change on this car. We did the engine flush, the oil change. Now we did the coolant. We nailed the rear differential. So, is the pinging gone? Does it feel a little better, Dan?
Yeah, well, you know, I don't get on it very much, so the younger guy driving hears it more than I do, you know.
I didn't get any pinging on that, did you?
No.
Now then, watch your bump here. Watch your bump here, Dan. Watch your bumps. Now, I tell you what, I drove the hell out of this car the other day, and the only thing is those... I'm not getting any pinging. That's good.
No.
Watch your bumps. Watch your bumps. Dan's getting involved. Now he knows it's running smoother, pulling more heat out of those cylinders. Now he's going to be driving it harder because it doesn't knock anymore. Watch the bumps. Watch the bumps. This is too much. So maybe Dan will let me drive her around the block in a second and I can get my thing. We'll see you back. All right, so we're gonna go out and get some driving impressions and I'll let you know how it feels. Now, if you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, tap that notification bell. Also, check out everything I did to my Corvette. So I met Dan in the Corvette Club. I had a 2004 24-hour Le Mans Edition 6-speed manual Corvette, had it for 70,000 miles, mint condition car. Best car I ever had in my life, and then BOOM! Just totally got it totaled. So a new kid hit me. Check out that video. It's funny. He ran over the car with the truck. So we're gonna get into a little roll on here. Really nice. And now I'm gonna do a little second gear roll on. Here we go. Absolutely no pinging, no knocking, absolutely nothing. And now we're going to make her right up here. I'll let you hear her sing. We'll do a little roll down here so you can hear exactly what she sounds like. So we're going to go up here a little. I'm going to go ahead and stop here for you. I just want you to hear it from scratch. Here we go. A 3, a 2, 1. Better than I expected. expected. That sucker is really nice. Now, this tire is a terrible, terrible tire. It's a zero ZP, zero pressure tire, and these tires will kill you. They have no sidewall flex, so they catch, let go, catch, let go. And if you hit ribs, you will jump off the ground and you will lose control. So if you have these run flat tires, immediately dispose of them. Just give them away and get rid of them. So I did that on my car. I went to the Toyo Proxys T1 Sport tires, and they were amazing. Now they came out with a new one, the Toyo Proxys. They're dirt cheap. They're about 188 bucks a tire, and it'll change your life. And you'll lose about 4 pounds all around in every corner, and it'll just run a whole lot better. Here we go. Do a little third gear roll on. The car is solid. You know, I love the new C7 Stingray, but it's still not the C5. On my C5, I had Hotchkiss sway bars, so the inside tire doesn't pick up when you turn really tight. And then the second thing I had was the Bilstein shocks. So when you hit ribs and you hit heavy stuff on the road, because, you know, when you're on the street, you're on a street car. You're not on a race car. You're not on a racetrack. So that's what I love about the C5 Corvette. It still has a soft spring rate that feels really nice. Well, it also has little squiggles there. Yeah, these zero pressure tires are really touchy, and you can really lose control of the car. So that's my 2 cents. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's no more pinging, there's no more knocking. This thing runs great. We're gonna give the car back to Dan, and check out all the videos on my car right here. This is my whole playlist on my Corvette. Had the car for 70,000 miles. We were in love. I was married to my car, but it's gone. And well, check out the Cadillac right here. This is all the videos of my kitty cat. She's hot to trot. Sometimes she plays hard to get. And we'll see you back next time on Synthetic Oil Protection. Cheers to protection, protection, protection. We'll see you back next time on Synthetic Oil Protection.